Hello and welcome to another video. Today I thought of doing some personality tests. The last time I actually did it was years ago. And I've heard that people don't actually change, but that doesn't really make any sense to me because I've been changing all through my life and I have a feeling that it's going to change definitely. The last time I did it was ENFP, and one time it was even INFP. But I'm really curious if during the past few years I've changed or not. So let's do it together. Okay, let's start with this. Take the test, complete the test, be yourself and answer honestly, and find out your personality type, view detailed results, learn how your personality type influences many areas of your life, unlike your potential, grow into the person you want to be with, your optional premium suit. Okay. You regularly make new friends. Okay, it depends on the kind of friends it's talking about because I do make a lot of friends, but um, not all of them are very close friends. But I would say probably maybe this much. Wait, that's the disagree. No, go back. Okay. Okay, so complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones. It depends. But I do like it when people are very straightforward. You usually feel more persuaded by what resonates emotionally with you than by factual arguments. Not really, not really. I try to go with the factual ones. Your living and working spaces are clean and organized, not all the time, but there are times that if I don't clean them, I can't really work. So I'd say maybe slightly agree. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. Yeah, most times I've been told that I am a very patient person, especially when there is a lot of pressure. Um, so yeah, I'd say agree. You find the idea of networking or promoting yourself to strangers very daunting. To be honest, not anymore. I used to be like that before, but after some time, it didn't really feel as difficult as it used to be, and it's actually very easy to just show myself and do different kinds of things. But there are still things that I would prefer to keep personal, so I'd go with this much. So you prioritize and plan tasks effectively, often completing them well before the deadline. Okay, this changed definitely because I used to wait until the deadline before doing something. But recently, maybe because I don't study anymore, I prefer to do it prior to that so I don't have to feel stressed until it comes. So I'd go slightly agree because there are still times I would be like, yeah, let's wait until the very end. People's stories and emotions speak louder to you than numbers or data. To be honest, the thing is, when people's emotions come up, um, you can see the reality in them most of the times. But when it comes to numbers and data, they're not always correct. They're meant to be correct, but they're not always correct. So, yes. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. Oh, definitely. Without them, I'm lost. I can't do a thing without them. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge, definitely. Because no matter how well I know something, um, I'm not sure if I feel it right. So I have to actually see results of it to make sure that's how it is. So, yeah, I tend to do that. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. Yeah, I do. You're not too interested in discussions about the various interpretations of creative works. I am actually. I'm very interested in different sides of everything. You prioritize facts over people's feelings when determining a course of action. I do. It would be silly if I wouldn't. I mean, if people are affected by it, uh, then they have a right to, be a part of it. So their feelings actually matter. You often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all. If I don't make schedules, I mean, with days, hmm, with certain stuff, I have to plan them prior to the time, but there are days that I just go along with what is right. So, um, I I'd say like slightly disagree. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Yeah, I do. The thing is, I don't care if everyone likes me or not, but in the very first meeting, I try to be silent and I try to observe. I still talk, I still engage. But then after it, I try to, I mean, without noticing, I try to mimic the way they act towards me. So I guess that shows that I do want people to like me. I mean, who doesn't? I guess. You enjoy participating in team based activities. Oh, yeah, I love doing things in teams. You enjoy experimenting with new and untested approaches. I literally live for new experiences because I mean right now I'm 26 and the moments that actually stuck with me other than the sad moments or the traumatizing ones were the moments that I've experienced my first times, whatever they were, and or going through them again and again. So yeah, and I'm always looking for new things to experience because I think that's what makes life more interesting, makes today different with yesterday. So definitely, you prioritize being sensitive over being completely honest. Ooh, this is a hard one. I'm a very blunt person, but I also do consider people's feelings when I am blunt. So I don't think I no. I don't think I prioritize it. I think I'm just nice when I'm blunt, but I also can be very mean when I'm blunt. So yeah, slightly disagree. You actively seek out new experiences and knowledge areas to explore. Yep, I actively do that. If you look at my other social media like Instagram, you see advertisements for every new thing that happens around me because I just need to be active and do new things. You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for worse. Um, I mean, I don't think everything will go for worse. I just see it as a possibility. So, does that count? Because, of course, I always consider that this can go right and this can go wrong. But I don't think that I actually think too much about it going wrong because I want to live in the moment. So, I would say disagree. You enjoy solitary hobbies or activities more than group ones. I do enjoy being on my own every once in a while. Like, I think even with extroverted people, there are times that you want to do things alone. For example, when it comes to making videos, I do not want to share that because I want to know what I'm doing. Even when it comes to running my accounts, I don't really bring anyone into my space. But when it comes to hobbies and activities, it's much funner when you do it with other people. Of course, I have gone to different places like cinemas, like I've eaten on my own, I've traveled on my own, but it's always the best when I do it with a group. So I'd have to disagree with that. You cannot imagine yourself writing fictional stories for a living. Oh, I definitely can. So extremely disagree. You favor efficiency in decisions, even if it means disregarding some emotional aspects. I do think that sometimes being reasonable is more important than being emotional. So I think I have to agree with that. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Not all the time. Sometimes I'm like, they can wait. Not all the time. Uh, because when I have to do something, I force myself into doing it. I think a big part of being an adult is controlling your childishness and being like, hey, let's do this. And once we do that, we can actually get into the fun part without worrying about the other part. So, but I do prefer to relax more. I'd have to disagree slightly. In disagreements, you prioritize proving your point over perceiving the feelings of others. Not really. I prefer to hear their side too. So if there's a way for us to compromise, we can compromise whatever it is. Um, because sometimes you have to lose to win, if that makes sense. Sometimes you have to accept that you're wrong so you can understand and learn from it. Uh, but it's not about the other person's feelings. It's like, I want to get to what's really happening. Um, I don't think I go too much through like proving a point. Uh, you usually wait for others to introduce themselves first at social gatherings. Yep. Your mood can change very quickly. Sometimes there are times. The thing is, especially when I'm very hyped and very happy, I think my social energy suddenly drops, and it's very evident because, for example, I'm out with someone, I'm having a very fun time, and suddenly I just zone out. I'm just silent and I just don't have any energy anymore. And they're like, what happened? And I'm like, so yeah, my mood does change quite frequently. You're not easily swayed by emotional arguments. No. you A lot of people have tried to emotionally manipulate me. Uh like 90% of the time I can see it and I can tell them that I don't care about the guilt trip you're trying to put me through. You can think I'm a mean person, but we're not doing that. I think I learned it by knowing my grandmother. She was a master in manipulations when it came to guilt tripping, of course. So every time someone tries to fake emotions, let's say, or overpower something by seeing only themselves, I'm like, okay, I understand. I'm sorry you're feeling that way if you really are, but this is what's actually happening. And if we keep like focusing on the emotions, we're not fixing the situation. So, no. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Not really. You enjoy debating ethical dilemmas. Yep, I do. I'm a teacher. I'm a speaking teacher. I've been doing it for years. So it's part of me now. But there are times that I prefer to stay silent because sometimes arguing with stupid people means nothing. Okay. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. Not all the time. For example, having my own space, my own room has really been important to me. And since I do have some time alone, at least at night, I can appreciate being around other people during the day or after it. So, no, I actually prefer to be on my own as much as possible, just not all the time. There are times I really want to go out too. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. No, no, I'm a master of theorizing stuff. No. When facts and feelings conflict, you usually find yourself following your heart. Well, yeah, when I see that the facts and not really actually. Like for example, when it comes to dating, I think it differs. That's why I'm stuttering. Because when it comes to dating, even if I do like someone, uh, if I think that if something happens between us, things are gonna get too complicated. It's not gonna work out. I prefer to listen to my mind instead of my heart. But then again, that is also listening to your heart because you don't want to get hurt. Uh, but on another hand, sometimes I do act based on my emotions, but I think I do prefer to think before following emotions because that's the way not to get hurt, if that makes sense. You find it challenging to maintain a consistent work or study schedule. Um, the thing is, I try not to put an actual schedule. I keep changing it so I can follow it. So no, I have to disagree. You rarely second guess the choices you have made. I do because I constantly try to evolve. So I do second guess myself every once in a while. Your friends would describe you as lively and outgoing. I think so. My friends have said that before. Okay, 50% or 60% done. You are drawn to various forms of creative expression, such as writing. Yes, I am very drawn to that. You usually base your choices on objective facts rather than emotional impressions. It differs, I guess. You like to have a to do list each day. I do like to have it, but I don't always follow it. So there's that. Slightly agree. You rarely feel insecure. Yes, I can get very insecure often. You avoid making phone calls. Oh, yeah, definitely. The thing is, I actually do like phone calls over texts, at least. But if it's someone I don't know, for example, if I have to order something, it's difficult for me. But eventually I have to do it. I'm an adult. You enjoy exploring unfamiliar ideas and viewpoints. Yep, I do. You can easily connect with people you have just met. I do actually, because as a speaking teacher, I have spoken to many different people, and I've noticed that no matter how different they are, there's always at least one topic we can agree on, and generally I try to find at least that one topic so we can sort of bond, but after it I might not even talk to them anymore. But when I just meet people, I do think that I click. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Yeah. You're still bothered by mistakes that you've made a long time ago. Yep, I am. Even though mistakes are great and I've learned from them and I can only improve from then on, but I'm a human and that happens. You're not too interested in discussing theories on what would the world could look like in the future. Huh. I mean, I could have theories over it, but I've learned that I'm probably gonna be wrong. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Huh. Maybe sometimes, but not all the time. So I'm gonna like slightly agree with that. When making decisions, you focus more on how affected people might feel than on what is most logical or efficient. Okay, I think I my ADHD clicked. Kicked. Okay, I think my ADHD kicked because I need to read that again. I completely zoned out. When making decisions, you focus more on how the affected people might feel than on what is the most logical or efficient. I mean, I try to see the logical side of it too, but I do get really affected by if it's like multiple people and I know they're not faking it. So, like I said, they can't guilt trip me into anything, but I do prefer to listen to them and actually acknowledge their feelings. So, probably, yeah. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent effort. Yeah, the thing is, even though I plan everything ahead, uh, I do it in a very general way. Like, for example, today let's do this, this, and that. And I used to be very careful to follow every single one of them, and it was hell. I had to push myself to stop that. And I've noticed that every time I do something spontaneous, it works much better than when I actually plan things ahead. So I think, yeah, my work style is closer to spontaneous. Um, Even though I plan them, but I can't do it all the time. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. The thing is, uh, I usually click with people very fast, uh, but I know that maybe I give them too good of an impression that later when they realize that maybe we are different in some ways, or maybe I have also some flaws, or maybe I am not the kind of person that they wished I was. They do feel disappointed, but I do think that it's their problem because I'm very blunt. I don't really hide anything uh, unless I have to. Uh, so, yeah, I do think that eventually a lot of them feel disappointed by me not being the person they wished I was. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time, definitely. Oh my god. Like, with jobs, I want to do it alone. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time? No. I think it's important to think about it at least. Maybe I don't actively follow them, but I do find them interesting. You feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmosphere than to quiet, intimate places. No, actually, I do prefer quiet places. Of course, sometimes I prefer to be in a crowd, but it's not as often as when I am feeling better when it's quiet. If a decision feels right for you, You often act on it without needing further proof. Yeah, there are times, I mean, I don't actually search everything I do. Sometimes I just do it through my gut feeling. Uh, so yeah, if it feels right, I think that at the back of my head, I have already calculated it, which is why I'm feeling this way. So I trust my gut feelings. Okay, 90% done. You often feel overwhelmed. I do. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Uh, no, I'm a mess. Even with my plans, I'm a mess. You prefer tasks that require you to come up with creative solutions rather than follow concrete steps. I prefer to have steps, but like creative solutions could also help. This is one of those questions that I really don't know how to answer because I mean it changes. So I'm just gonna go with the neutral one. You are more likely to rely on emotional intuitions than logical reasoning when making a choice. The thing is, I personally believe that if I have an intuition, it comes from logical reasoning behind my mind. Like a lot of times, for example, if I don't trust someone, I might not know why at the time, but then I think about it and I'm like, well, they said this, they acted this way, they behaved in a certain way. And so I think that's why I really rely on my intuition a lot. You struggle with deadlines. Not all the time. I'm actually very good at planning things ahead and pushing myself into finishing things on time. You feel confident that things will work out for you. Yeah, I do think so because they generally do. As long as you leave, you have time to do that. I am a female, I don't know why. Oh, for my avatar, okay. Show results. Okay, I'm a protagonist. I mean, I went from ENFP to ENFJ. Interesting. So I have changed slightly. I'm still extroverted. I mean, for some time, like I said, I took it twice before. Once it was extroverted, once I became kind of an introvert. Uh, and apparently, I still have things based on my feelings because there's an F instead of the T, there's the N part. Okay. Protagonists are inspiring optimists, readily taking action to do what they feel is right. Sounds like me. 58% extroverted. Yep, that makes sense because I am an extrovert, but there are times that I want to be on my own. Extroverted individuals readily enjoy group activities and value social interactions. They tend to be outwardly enthusiastic and express their excitement. Okay, I'm intuitive. So this is the same again. Intuitive individuals are very imaginative, open minded, and curious. They value originality and focus on hidden meanings and distant possibilities. Feeling. Um, Feeling individuals value emotional expression and sensitivity. They place a lot of importance on empathy, social harmony, and cooperation. Okay? Judging. Okay, that's the J. Judging individuals are decisive throughout and highly organized. They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneity. Okay. Yeah, I think I am way more decisive than I used to be, way more organized. But in some ways, I used to actually be more organized before, so I'm confused why it's like this now. Okay, T. Turbulent individuals are self conscious and sensitive to stress. They feel a sense of urgency in their emotion and tend to be success driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve. Okay, yep, I am a perfectionist. I do slip things, but yep. So this has a whole lot of introduction of what I am as an ENFJ. Okay. So people with ENFJ personality type feel called to serve a greater purpose in life. No, actually, I don't. I don't think there's a high purpose in life. I think it's just living on in the moment, maybe being good. Um, Strive to have a positive impact on other people and the world around them. These personalities rarely shy away from an opportunity to do the right thing, even when doing so is far from easy. Okay. ENFJ are born leaders, which explains why these personalities can be found among many notable politicians, coaches, and teachers. I feel called out. Their passion and charisma allows them to inspire others not just in their careers, but in every area of their lives, including their relationship. Tend to be vocal about their values, including authenticity and altruism. When something strikes them as unjust or wrong, they speak up, but they rarely come across as brash or pushy. As their sensitivity and insight guide them to speak in ways that resonate with others. ENFJ personalities have not only an uncanny ability to pick up other people's underlying motivations and beliefs, but also a knack for understanding how others are feeling just by looking at them. Yeah, I tend to do that. I really pay attention to people's body language. At times, they may not even understand how they come to grasp another person's mind and heart so quickly. These flashes of insight can make ENFJs incredibly persuasive and inspiring communicators. Okay. This this personality type's secret weapon is their purity of intent. Generally speaking, ENFJs are motivated by a sincere wish to do the right thing rather than a desire to manipulate or have power over other people. Even when they disagree with someone, they search for common ground. I think I already said that. When ENFJ care about someone, they want to help resolve that person's problem. Yes, we do. Sometimes at any cost. The good news is that many people are grateful for their assistance and advice. After all, there is a reason that these personalities have a reputation for hoping other improvements in their lives. But getting involved in other people's problems isn't always a recipe for success. ENFJs tend to have a clear vision of what people can or should do in order to better themselves, but not everyone is ready to make those changes. If they push too hard, their loved ones may feel resentful or unfairly judged. Yeah, I have to be very careful with my opinions. And while their personality type is known for being insightful, even the wisest ENFJs may sometimes misread a situation or unwittingly give bad advice. That's true. So, receptive people within an ENFJ personality type have strong opinions. We do, but they're far from close minded. Yes, that's true. They recognize the importance of allowing others to express themselves fully, even when they don't agree with someone. They recognize that person's right to voice their truth. reliable, passionate, uh, altruistic, charismatic. Okay. My weaknesses, unrealistic. Whoa. Wow. Many ENFJs put pressure on themselves to right every wrong that they encounter. But no matter how hard these personalities try, it just isn't realistic for them to resolve all the world's problems. I mean, that's true. If they aren't careful, they can spread themselves too thin and be left unable to help anyone. I mean, that's fair. That's true. Overly idealistic, um, I feel called out. Personalities tend to have clear ideas about what's right and what's wrong. They often think that everyone shares these fundamental principles, or at least that everyone should share these principles, so it can come as a genuine shock to them when people violate these core values, such as truth or justice. I mean, to me, the world is not black and white, but there are things that I think are kind of fundamental. People need to understand. For example, um, going after children is wrong, or hurting each other is wrong, or trying to improve yourself is something that everyone needs to aspire to do. Uh, for example, something as simple as men and women being on the same, basically. Of course, physically they have different things, but when it comes to justice, or when it comes to doing things that both of them can do, I don't see why some guys think it's alright for them to think they're better than me just because they're physically slightly different than me, even though we can do the same things the same way. Sometimes I can even do it better. Not because I'm a woman, because I have practiced it. I have enough knowledge to do it. So, yeah, that's true. Condescending. Ooh, wow. People with this personality type enjoy teaching others, particularly about the cues and beliefs that matter so much to them. But at times, their attempt to enlighten others may come across as patronizing, not the most effective strategy for persuading other people, unfortunately. I mean, I think it used to happen more often than now. I really try to be open minded about a lot of things, and I try to listen to the other person as well. I wouldn't think I'm condescending, but I would think that out of, like, I'd say, because I've met a lot of people, hundreds and thousands of people whom I've met, some of them might actually think that way about me. Intense, I would agree. A lot of people have said that I am kind of intense about certain things. When it comes to self improvement, I rarely show an energy or determination, but they may not recognize that not everyone shares these qualities. At times, these personalities may push others to make changes that they aren't ready for or simply aren't interested in making. I might have done that before, yep. Overly empathetic. Compassion is among this personality type's greatest strength, but ENFJs have a tendency to take on other people's problems as their own, a habit that can leave them emotionally and physically exhausted. That's true. That's very true, something I've been trying to change. Hopefully in the future I can change it, but I do think that if I have the power to change anything or do something, I need to. Okay. Romantic relationships. People with the ENFJ personality type can be intense when it comes to matters of the heart, and they wouldn't have it any other way. As true optimists and embodiments of passion, ENFJs believe their soulmates are out there somewhere. I don't believe in soulmates, but I do think that right now, with the me that I am right now, it might change in the future. The person might change, but there must be people out there who actually get the check for every single thing I am looking for. Maybe I have to compromise in some ways, but unless this person does not meet my needs and doesn't just make my life worse, I don't see the point in having them in my life. Um, and they won't give up until they find. So yeah, I don't really settle if that's what they're trying to say. I don't settle until I find someone who meets the things I'm looking for. These personalities rarely settle for anything that falls short of their ideals, and their romantic relationships are no exceptions. That's true. Although NFJs may come across as outgoing or even a little bit flirtatious, we do. A few of them are satisfied by fleeing attractions. Yep. Their standards are high, it is, and they know it. In fact, their awareness might give people with the ENFJ personality type a deeper appreciation of just how rare and precious it is to feel a rare spark with another person. That's true. And in turn, just how rare and special it is when that spark grows into the steady flame of true, abiding love. Moving beyond dating game, they fall for someone, they tend to fall hard and they're not coy about it. Yeah, when I care about someone, I care about them very deeply, whether they're a friend or something more. Are among the personality types that most readily express how they feel. I do. So they often find themselves making the first move rather than playing games or waiting for reassurance. Yeah, even though I try not to make the first move because I plan ahead and I'm like, if they can't even make the first move, they're not confident enough for me. Uh, but the people I go for tend to not to do that. So at the end, I end up being the one making the first move, which actually sucks. In the dating world, their willingness to put themselves out there can be refreshing and perhaps a little unusual. This, along with the intensity of their passion, is incredibly appealing to many people. That said, because ENFJ personalities often make the first move, they may encounter their share of rejections as they search for. Actually, I've never been rejected before. uh, no, I don't remember ever being rejected. Few personality types are nearer than ENFJs to establish a loving commitment with their chosen partner. Yep, if I am in a relationship, I want to be completely committed. I don't see a point in being with someone when I am not committed. That's stupid. I might not actually want to get married because I believe it's just a contract. Unless it actually benefits someone. And, as someone who is not religious, I just don't see a point in actually getting married. I think as long as you're in a relationship, you're committed, and that should be enough. That should be it. But I do look for actually committed relationships. I don't see a point in flings, for me at least. Whoever wants to do it, it's good. I'm happy for them. I just don't want to do it. Friendships. This is something I have to see if my friends agree with or not. Consequently, ENFJs surrender themselves with all sorts of friends and acquaintances. In fact, they are most likely personality type to have more than one friend group for different aspects of their lives. That's true. From work friends to gym buddies to partying companies, yep, I have different friend groups for each one of those. ENFJs love to relax and unwind by spending time with friends, diving into good conversations, and getting to know what makes their friends tick. That's true. That said, most ENFJs personality find it difficult to respect anyone who takes shortcut, disrespects others, or refuses to challenge the status quo. Instead, they found it easier to connect with people who share their core ideal. It is with these closest friends that the ENFJs truly open up, sharing their vulnerabilities and their most precious dreams for their lives. Yep. Even though I can get along with all sorts of people, I don't think that I need to be friends with every single one of them, at least close friends. So I only am really close with the ones who at least have 70% the same kind of mindset that I have. When it comes to choosing a career, people with this personality type find fulfillment in doing what they love the most, helping others, and prefer careers where their charisma is also an important factor for success. With their natural charm, creativity, and drive, ENFJs can find many different ways to serve the uplift others in nearly any work environment, whether they're behind a gleaming table in a corporate boardroom or behind the counter at a beloved local coffee shop. Earning their place thanks to their emotional intelligence and their social skills, they excel in nearly any people-oriented field, such as social work, teaching, counseling, coaching, healthcare, or public interest law. Let's just see the conclusion part. What you've read so far is just an introduction to the complexities of people with ENFJ personality type. Along the way, you may have muttered to yourself, wow, this is so accurate. It's a little creepy. Or finally, someone understands me. You may have also asked, how do they know more about me than people I'm closest to? If you feel understood right now, it's because your years of researches have given us fresh insight into the unique strength and challenges of ENFJs like you. Okay, yeah, there are a lot of things that actually resonated with me. Not everything was exactly accurate, and I'm pretty sure by the time it's still going to change because I'm still going to be different people than I am today. If I'm not, it means I'm actually not evolving. But for now, I think it was a really good test. Please take it and also let me know what kind of personality type you are. What do you think about it, and if you actually believe in it? Do you think it's an important thing to really ask other people in the first date or not? With that, I need to finish this video. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. In case no one told you today, you're beautiful, valid, and important. I love you.